Sellers and buyers. All right, let's get to it today. It's been crazy busy again. I am starting to just get phone call after phone call after phone call. A lot with advice, like information, what's going on. Everybody kind of understands the market. They get the information. They're researching, at least if they need to sell or buy. But what's going on right now is there is a lot of people moving, already starting to move, and they get it. And I think everybody is just tired. Like they either want to move, they want to get set, they want to go different places. A lot of retirement going on. I mean, just huge. And I think that's going to be for the next decade with baby boomers starting to retire, either go somewhere warm, go to a different place. I mean, there's some that come here to retire. Olympia is definitely, in Washington State's definitely a big retirement state, but if you don't want the rain and this and that and everything else, they are going to a lot of other places. So I'm seeing a lot of selling here. The catch is, I don't know if we're bringing in as much buyers, at least right now in Olympia. Now, I know we have a lot of pent-up buyers in Olympia right now, but you have to be so careful with the numbers. And the other catch is outdatedness. The house, simple as that. If your house is outdated, and you know what I'm talking about. 1990s, that oak wood trim, oak floors, oak railing going up the stairs, cabinets oak, just everything's outdated. And in a nice way. And I mean that nicely because we all came from somewhere. We lived with it, my wife and I, although we gutted and took it all out. I realize I'm horrible at trim work. I am not a trim guy. I can do it. Just that patience of taking it and then siliconing and painting, and I can do it. It's a pain. And so when I did do it one time, I was not having it. So I understand the whole process of getting the house updated. But if your house is outdated, that's the new gold rush, is buyers want the new updated stuff. And some people are saying the new homes, like the new home builds, are stalling out. That's why they're giving amazing rates, great discounts, closing costs. Yes, they are cookie cutters. So if the buyers want new homes, new clean everything, it has to be a cookie cutter. So that's what's going on right now, is either there's old dated homes that are either stalling out, no one's buying unless somewhat of the work has been done, some paint, trim, kitchen. So I will say the quickest way to at least make it look more updated, rip out the floors, do new floors, new trim, the 5-inch big white stuff. It's MDF board, white stuff. Good job. You can do that. So the new 5-inch square, or go ahead and look online, of course, Instagram, all that fun stuff. You can take a look at the trends. Lauren at Sparrow Design would have all that for you if you need a great designer. But with that being said, go through and update, trim, flooring, paint. Simple. Now it's kitchen cabinets, bathroom cabinets, stuff like that. Yes or no. I'm hit and miss on the ROI, because if we're looking just to dump and get out of the house, and I don't mean just dump, but sell the house, move on, without spending a lot of money, especially the way I went over this video yesterday, contractor prices, wait times, this and that and everything else. Just do the good updating, the paint, the trim, the flooring, stuff like that. Simple, but it makes it cleaner, easier for people to move in. Otherwise, yes, you do have an outdated house, and if it's outdated, price it right, price it accordingly. Now, I will say there's a caveat with this. One location, if the outdated home has more land, great. If the outdated home is a rambler, huge right now. Again, more retiree people moving here. I don't see as many young people moving here. And you got to understand, Olympia is a very small town. It's great for raising children, families, great. Public schools, again, as a real estate broker, I can't say my opinion. Hit or miss, depending on what you do your research on right now, so it's kind of all over the board. But then when I started doing research in other cities and states, I think all of them with public schools are having real hit and miss. We send ours to private school, Northwest Christian, love it. It's amazing. So I will say, even when my wife and I were doing research, when we thought about maybe going somewhere else, which we never did, we looked at private schools. Just that's the reality of it. And I know some can't, so make sure you do your research on public schools, but I think everywhere is having that up and down. So definitely research the websites, make sure the programs are there or not there, make sure you're reviewing the boards, the minutes, all that good stuff with any school you're looking at, anywhere you go. That's simple as that. But Olympia is a very small town. I drove down this morning, and it was like a ghost town this morning, driving around at 9:30. Beautiful out, sunny, cold, crisp, and saw a few people walking up and down the downtown, but it was kind of eerie. But that's our small town. So it's not spooky or anything. It's just know where you're moving and if that's what you want, the demographics, the population, the growth of that town and city and what you're looking for, to be honest. So if you're looking for small town, really, we're an hour and some from Seattle that has everything for you, then great. And our prices are a lot cheaper. And then you could go south further and get more country. Now we do have a lot of rain here. So if you're moving, and sorry, I'm digressing. If you're moving here, then I need to digress on this. Not digressing, but if you're moving here, it does rain a lot. So I'm getting a lot of people wanting to move somewhere sunny again. And so I think that's what I was trying to get back to is we may not have as many young people moving here unless you're family or unless you're wanting small town. A lot of people are picking. I'm seeing more of a trend back to the East Coast. More infrastructure, more population, more restaurants, culture, everything like that. Seattle does have all that as well, so I'm seeing stuff around Seattle as well, closer than Olympia. So Olympia is just all the way down. It has some niches that people love and some people that are like, nope, not anymore. So our main support here is government and military. That's our main support in town. Not really little tourism, I guess. Not really. Anyway, so with that being said, sellers need to pay attention to their market, their listing, and the algorithms right now. Everything's online, but it needs to be done and cleaned and set up the right way. I cannot preach this enough. I'm seeing some stuff with pictures that just aren't spot on. Yes, you have the video, but do you have floor plan maybe? Do you have Matterport? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'm hit and miss with both. Matterport, I don't like because you click through it and I feel like then they don't want to walk through the house, and it's so much different in person than it is online. I've heard that thousands of times. I can literally say that. Oh, this looks so much better. Oh, this looks so much worse. I get both sides. You want them to come to the house. If they have the Matterport and they click through it, they're most likely not to go through it, or maybe it will help and maybe they want to come look through it. So it's hit and miss again. So it's teach individual real estate agents, well, do they like it or not? I do like the floor plan because when I look at homes online, I would love to know, oh wait, which way, if the pictures don't flow well, of showing this is the bedroom and then it goes this way, that's why I sometimes do like the Matterport and the floor plan, because then you can see the layout, especially if it's a difficult house to figure the layout in. If it's a Rambler, it's a little easier. It could be over here or there, or if it flows right, then you can see which way the rooms go. Typical, unless it's unique again, then use Matterport. But the listings need to be clean. They just need to be set up, and then information on them needs to be huge. And the agents need to be straightforward of like what doesn't work, what does work. And if the buyers or sellers say, well, we want this, you need to, as a listing agent, need to say, well, no, this isn't normal, or no, that's going to hurt your sale. I know you want that. We can do it, but it's going to hurt. And then they'll listen to you. If they're not listening to you and you're letting the sellers, no offense, because I would never tell a seller in their business or their field what works, what doesn't. I'd say, hey, I watched a show, or I looked at this, or I looked this, or Googled this up. But if you're not selling hundreds of homes, how do you have that database or knowledge to say, well, this is what I want, and you know it's going to help your home? I mean, it's reality. And I even do it with my folks on our investments. My mom, love you to death, but sometimes it's, oh, no, I need this, or no, I want to do this. I'm like, no. That's not going to help. That doesn't work. And you have to set those boundaries and make sure you're doing the best for the client to sell the home. Simple as that. It doesn't get more basic. So if your listing agent isn't giving you that information to best to sell your home, then maybe a different agent, at least in my opinion, because they're hired for one job to sell your home. Now, everybody has different opinions on agents. What clicks, what doesn't click. Some sellers love to be in control. You're more than welcome to be in control with me as long as we work together. But ultimately, in the end of the day, I am helping sell your home. If I don't sell a home, I don't get paid. We are commission-based, and there's a whole nother story on that whole commission thing in a second, but we're commission-based. So I need to make sure I'm not wasting my time, and I'm working with you. I'll give you all information if you want to sit there, but there's hours behind hours where I'm working behind the scenes to make sure this listing gets done. Title companies, paperwork, dealing with other buyers agents, negotiating, making sure everything's set up and lined out. And so that's the whole goal. If you want all that, I've learned over the years not to dump all that on the sellers because it's overwhelming. And everything legally has to be given to you that's legal. And then all the other stuff, if you want it, we can give you all that information. But it takes a lot of work, then clogs it down where I'm like going back and forth constantly. Hey, this and that. You don't want to do all that. You don't want that little stuff that I'm helping to do to make your listing sell. So pick the right agent. Make sure it's clean. You have one shot at this once you list it. Now, if for some reason something does go wrong with the listing, you can do a reboot, what I like to call reboot. Either pop it off the market, reset it up. I just did it for one and it worked out huge. I'm actually waiting for 2 calls, got 3 offers on it when I did a reboot on a high-end listing. It works. It's for some reason people re-see it. They don't really take a look at the numbers, and either they re-see it again and like, oh, here we go, another time. I still look at the numbers because the numbers don't disappear days on the market, but for some reason the reboots seem to help more. So I get it, and you should do it. And fresh pictures, fresh everything if you can. And then different style, because there's definitely different avenues of how you're going to list that home. And there's just so many. I can go in depth with each and every different way. Now, commissions. There's all the news on the NAR and lawsuits and commissions and this and that. Listing commissions are negotiable. Always have been in Washington State. What's going to happen now is the buyer's commission is going to be negotiable. And the buyer running around with the buyer's agent needs to sign a buyer's agreement now. And they need to use that to go, and it always has been there, but now it's like going to be official. And now they have to either guarantee that buyer's agent commission or whatnot if the listing agent doesn't provide it. Now, with all that being said, basically it's just another way to kind of mix the funds in a different direction. Listing agents, if you don't provide commission, likelihood of a buyer and buyer's agent coming, I can give you statistics. I mean, it's probably really low. I mean, good statistics, yes. That's, you know, so you have to offer that commission. And if you don't, and I shouldn't say you have to, you can offer 0. But then what are you doing? Are you selling the house or not? And if you say, well, yeah, I am selling the house, there may be a buyer that does come. And the buyer's agent is going to get paid by the buyer now for the agent commission. But then again, the buyer's agent commission, let's just use on a $500,000 house, averages $12,500 to $15,000 commission for that buyer's agent. The likelihood of that buyer just having $15,000 extra cash or $12,000 in their pocket to pay the buyer's agent for helping them negotiate the house, not really. So then it needs to either come from the listing or that buyer's agent, you know, they can show the buyer, but now the buyer's on the hook for that. So then they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to pay that. I can't. You're not offering the commission. I'm not going to pay the commission. I signed the buyer's agent agreement, which is now legal, that I legally have to do. So now I'm not going to buy your home. I'm off to the next because I don't have the $10,000 cash. So you see where they're hitting a wall now. So either offer the commission or don't. It's up to you. Legally, you can negotiate. That's what it's always been, but that's what the deal is now. I would recommend, if it was my listing, we still have commission off of the listing that is our personal listing because we want the buyer's agents to come in. Did my folks negotiate the commission with me? Absolutely. You can always negotiate the listing commission. So does it mean that I will take some that are lower? No, absolutely not. I know my value with what I bring, and so that is my commission. This is what I charge. Just like a lawyer, doctor, anybody else? Yes, I know I just compared myself to a lawyer, doctor, anything else, but I've taken a decade plus to learn these forms, negotiations, and to learn the skills to sell the best and top highest homes and help the buyers with all little stuff that can hit you in the back end that you don't know about that will really bite you if you don't know. And it's a lot of work. So trust me, with everything we go through, game on. You want to be stressed and go old, and there's a lot of professions that will age you fast. This is definitely one of the top ones in there. So with that being said, as a buyer right now, with these sellers trying to sell the homes and transition, move, same with the buyer, you have a lot to pick from. Now the inventory is low, but with that being said, if you're in the price range at $500 to $550 right now in Olympia, let's just use that for example, there's a lot to pick from. There is a lot that I'm seeing that is actually really good value. The catch is, are the buyers there? Do they want to get that for the value? Do they have to need upgrades? Yeah, a lot of them need upgrades. A lot of them are dated, but the house you're getting is great. So I'm not sure, I'm seeing some go pending online, and I'm seeing some stall out, I'm seeing some go nowhere, and so I'm wondering where the buyers are, because we've all are seeing that now where we had all these buyers have all disappeared. I know they're taking the holidays off, but are they waiting for the interest rates to go down more, which again is going to skyrocket the price? I just made a video about this yesterday. If you're waiting, you're going to be paying a lot more. I don't know how else to say it. Like, why are you waiting? As a buyer, buy now and save a crap load of money. If you're waiting for the spring and a lot more inventory, that's fine. It's going to be the same inventory, just more expensive. Maybe in a different area, location, so that's fine. Trust me, I am all about location. So if it's not the right location, I get it. If you're not as big of a deal with location, it's these neighborhoods or this spot, and you find 2 or 3 homes in there and you can say, yeah, I could definitely see myself living in one right now, pull the trigger. Do it, because I can tell you what, those sellers are going to want to sell. Now, we're not going to give away the farm, and I say we because I have a listing right now where we just raised the price back up. We had it down, buyer came in, we're going to give it to him at a good price. It was a solid price. They probably would have made $50,000 next year by just buying it now. That's what I'm predicting, and that's on one of our listings. So I can legally say that our listing, we're going to give it a steal at this price. They said, no, we want this. I said, you know what, fine. No, we're good. Raise the price back up. Now they're still getting probably $25,000 to $30,000 because next year that's going to go up even more than that when the interest rates go down, and it's a reality of it. But no, they wanted to be extremely greedy, so you have to be careful, and the real estate broker, the buyer's broker, has to help them navigate that. Now, if the buyer's broker is from a different area, that's crucial because sometimes they don't know the markets in different areas. Unless, like myself, database, following, baselines, database. I mean, you're following everything and saying, oh yeah, that area, oh yeah, that's priced right. You're talking to the listing agent, you're actually working together and trying to put the deal together. If they're not, and they're coming in peacock chest attitude, it may not work. And rightfully so. We see it all. You see it in, I mean, everybody's job everywhere has that person or has those people that, you know what I'm talking about. And you're just like, all right, you do you, boo. You do you. And that's what it is. So that being said, as a buyer, you have to pick the right buyer's agent. 1, they're going to know the knowledge of the area. 2, they're going to help you negotiate and buy the right house. 3, they're going to make sure they have your best interest in mind to buy the darn house. And we're not going to play games because, again, if you're wasting the buyer's agent, you're wasting time. There's no point in working with them. Now, here's something to be careful of that I was going to say in the whole scheme of everything with the buyer's agent or the real estate agent and the buyers and everything else is right now is huge who you pick on any level with any degree with the buyer's agent or the seller's agent, because the buyer's agent and the seller's agent, whoever you're picking, 1, needs to know all the information. Remember, you're working with them as a partner. So here's what I find, and I'm going to do this, the Star Wars thing. Here's what I find that the buyers and the sellers, both I've seen on both sides, don't do. They'll hire me as a real estate agent, hundreds and hundreds of homes and everything else. I see, not often, but I see a while that they're not actually working with me as a partner. They actually almost think of me as competition, or they don't want to tell me everything. They think I'm going to let that information go. Now, legally, we can't. Once I work for a listing agent or a buyer's agent, I can't legally disclose anything to any other party that wants to buy. So that's one. Let's get that off the table. So if you don't disclose to me, and it's happened quite a few times where it's like, oh, our lowest price is $500,000. Well, we get offers and they're at 480, 470, and so forth. And they said, Ron, just let any agent know we're not taking lower than 500. So legally, okay, not taking anything under, so I can tell the agents. My seller said, no, we're not taking anything 500. Well, now we have no offers because no one wanted to say anything. And yet I still say, they said, they don't want to go below 500. Send something over. We'll still look at it because I love to see it in writing. And who knows, maybe the seller does change their mind once they get it in writing and takes a look at it. Because the agents ask all the time, well, what's the lowest they'll go? Well, I was told by the seller, it said I could let it know that, the lowest they're going is 500. That's the lowest they'll take. And it may be listed at 500. We're not going below list price. They may say that. And so with that being said, I'm sorry, we're not taking anything below list price. Those offers never came. 2 months later, the seller's like, oh, you know what? Actually, our lowest price, we should have maybe let you know our actual lowest price is $475. Why didn't you tell me that? Why don't you say, okay, and I understand you don't want to disclose that, then just say, hey, let's not disclose it. Let's not say anything, but we would be willing to take anything for $75. All I would say then to any buyer agent is send over your offer. I'm not sure what their lowest price is. I don't know what their numbers are. Here's what our list price is. We'll look at all offers. And that's huge. So don't hide the numbers, because I guess what I'm trying to say is, as a listing broker, my favorite thing to do is get the highest price for you. Now, there's some agents that don't care about that extra $20,000, $30,000. That's huge. To me, an extra $20,000, $30,000 for the seller is a lot of money. That's $20,000, $30,000. Some agents, like, just send us an offer. Hey, you're off by $20,000, $30,000, but you got $450, whatever. No, I want $480. I want the $500. I want that extra money for you. And that's, I think, a difference between a great real estate listing agent and an okay listing agent. Is a listing agent doesn't care. They get it sold, but they don't get you the highest price. I want that extra $20,000, $30,000 for you. Now, if we can't get it and we top out, and this is the top level I can get you at, is that $475, but that's the top I push. Instead of letting it $465, but I got you the extra $10,000, then at least I got you that extra money. That's the whole point of hiring the right real estate agent. And I know I keep pounding on this. Same thing goes for a buyer's agent. Like, if you're a buyer and you're like, hey, this is my top price. I've seen, actually, I had a family member tell me this was their top price. Do not send me anything over this top price. What do? Listen to the family member. Don't send them anything over that top price. Well, then she went and bought something else with another agent, kid you not, for $50,000 more because I didn't send it to her. And I was like, you verbatim told me not to send you this. You won't go above this. Well, I looked on their site and I found it, and then they started talking with me, and I'm like, didn't you tell them you had an agent and this and that? So and that was a, kind of an outlier kind of thing. And so I'm like, really? And that was a long time ago in the beginning of my career. So maybe it was a newer agent kind of thing. Look at me, open up and expose stuff. Shedding emotions. I was hurt. I realized a lot of stuff. One, I had to make sure communication was a lot closer. This was 10 plus years ago, but communication is key. Two, I learned that buyers will say one thing, but then actually go here, and they can afford it. So now I say, well, what's your top of the price line? All right, here, I'm going to send you this, and if you want anything higher, let me know. If you want to look at other stuff, let me know. We'll look at everything, but you're in charge of the price points. I'm just going ahead and setting up the Northwest MLS of where the price points are at on your disclosure. Don't hide anything from me. I'm never going to push you higher. I work for you. So if you want to buy something at $550, great. My job comes in to negotiate that. It's not to tell you what home is right for you or what price range you should be in. That's all up to you. You know the price range you want to be in. You know with the pre-approval. You know the payments. You tell me, Ron, that's the house I want. That's where I jump in. All right, let's negotiate. Here's what I think. Here's my research. Here's what we need to look out for. Let's do the inspection. Here's what we need to look at. Here's the stuff we can negotiate and renegotiate. We need to drop off the earnest money within 3 days, depending on when we negotiate that. Okay, once we get past the inspection, we renegotiate that. Once we get past that, we need to look for the septic or the well if it's on septic or well. Here's other issues, maybe a slope, with the land. If it's on water, then we need to do maybe an engineer or take a look at something else that's with God, I am just all over the board here with this story. What I'm trying to say is you want to make sure you use the buyer's agent that's going to look into everything. And then once we get through it all, it's on to the lender. The lender will take that and go ahead and close on that home. But that's why you're hiring the buyer's agent. You don't need to hide and say, well, I'm only thinking 500. And then think that buyer's agent's going to push you to 600 and now you're paying more than you ever wanted to. No, that's a bad buyer's agent. So that's what you're not looking for. Not looking for a bad buyer's agent that's going to push you in price. You're not looking for a listing agent that's going to just sell your home but not try to get you the highest price. That's where you need to start interviewing agents, watching these videos and saying, yes, Ron's not going to just sell me a home that was way out of my price range. I'm in control, but then Ron goes to work when I find the right home to negotiate and let me know everything about it and to really get that on lockdown for me. That's the goal. It's a buyer's agent. Listing agent is, we want to get you the highest price possible. Now, tell me your numbers. Where are we at? I need to have a game plan. I need to work with you. We'll see what comes in and we'll strategize and really negotiate. And I spend hours. I'm negotiating all today. I'm looking for my phone. It's right here. I've been watching messages pop up of people sending over negotiations, text messages. So I've got 4 or 5 that I need to sort through right now. Sorry, Uncle John, I missed your call. I will call you right back. I will list those properties as well. So I'm doing all of that, But that's the whole point of a listing agent, is get you that highest price. 20, 30,000, extra 10,000, extra 5,000, $5,000. That's huge. I do see a lot of listing agents like, here you go, let's just sell it. There you go, price tag. That's a bad listing agent. And I can say that if they're not doing the best job for you, getting the highest price as a listing agent, the lowest price as a buyer's agent with making sure everything's good, then you did not go through your due diligence as a buyer or seller and pick the right real estate agent. And I think that's what gives us that bad reputation. It's because there are a lot of bad people out there. And you know that because in your business or whatever you've dealt with before, there are very good and very bad. And there's some good, there's some bad, there's okay, and there's excellent and excellent. That's what you need to do with your research, is find the excellent real estate brokers if you're buying or selling, and use those agents. And those are the ones that are usually a lot busier. That's us. We are just slammed. I'm down here, I'm out running around, I'm back out running around. I have some time to do some computer work, some listings, throw in Loki in the background and work, and then back at it in the field. And so when you start getting in this process, no matter what you're doing, make sure you interview and pick the right agent. It's going to make your world so much easier when you're buying and selling. That's it for today. Call me. It's going to get crazy out there. It's already starting to get crazy in real estate. So if you're moving, you're transitioning, I know it's going to be busy. I know you don't want to deal with all this stress. Call us. That's the whole point, is we have every protocol, every pattern, everything in line, or we should, if you're using the right listing agent and the right buyer's agent, to make your life easy, so I can give you the steps and the guidelines. If it's not lined out and you don't have option A, B, and C, and you don't have contingency on either side from that agent, and they're not lining out the whole path for you, they're not looking towards the future, they're not understanding what's going to happen, you're just wandering in the woods. I'm sorry, but that's you're talking to an Eagle Scout. Love to say that. Troop 101. Plan. Be ready. I mean, shit, this isn't rocket scientist, but you have to be ready with a game plan. Otherwise, what are you doing? And then you have to adapt, maneuver, get the best price, negotiate. That's real estate. Welcome. And that's life. But it's an interesting world out there right now. Anyways, I digress. Captain Ron, call me if you're looking to sell, list a home, revamp, get it reboosted. Call me. I'll get you up and running. If you're looking to buy, let me know. I know where to hunt right now. I know what's going on. If you want a good deal, call me. I will show you the good deals right now, at least with real estate, with buying. If you're an investor, I'm busy with investors. Taking limited investors because, one, you have to be ready to buy. Only taking cash investors. I saw some SBA stuff. It's like 7.5% and yada yada. Cash only with investors, and you have to either be seasoned. There's a lot of first-time investors out there. No offense, I understand, but I don't have time. Unless you have cash and then you know what you're looking for, then that's fine. There are a lot of agents that will work with you, but their experience hit and miss. So, and I get everybody has to start somewhere, so I'm dealing with some first investors right now, which is fine, but I'm being very selectful of the first-time investors I'm working with. Other than that, buyers and sellers, bring it on, because that is so much fun right now, buying and selling, and especially in this market. You want someone that's going to navigate it the best game plan possible and adapt and maneuver with you constantly with great communication, with understanding what's going on. Welcome to real estate in Washington State. Captain Ron out. Have a good day.